Hey guys, Aaron Garza, founder here at Pureline Nutrition Company. Hope you guys are doing awesome. We're shooting this video towards the end of September 2021. It's the fall, nice, cool, crisp air. And I wanted to do something a little bit different with this video. I kind of wanted to take a few steps back and talk a little bit about what supplements I've used for like the last 20 years. You know, obviously we're a supplement company. You know, we're always bringing you new products, stuff that we're coming out with and developing. But you know, what would I say are the tried and true supplements? Those ones that no matter what, they never get old, no matter what, you always use them. And I can pretty much tell you, my experience with the supplement world, it's really interesting. I mean, it probably started as long ago as, my freshman year in high school. I remember at that time, there was these big tablets that were amino acid tablets that they don't even make anymore, I don't think. But I mean, they were the size of literally like half your finger, and you had to swallow these things. And I remember my buddy was just like, dude, just put it way back in your throat and drink a ton of water and you're gonna swallow, you'll be fine. And we thought those things were gonna help us grow and get big and put on size. And really, we probably just pissed them out. They didn't do anything. But things have really changed and evolved since then. But personally, I can say that, through college, I was really, heavily into supplementation, especially, and for me, that was like 94 to 2000 somewhere. Yeah, I'm old, I guess you could say, but those 5 or 6 years, things were really starting to change in the supplement industry, and there were things that were coming out that were actually good. And that's probably where I started pivoting towards those 5 products that I always used and continue to use even 20 years later, and that always have produced results for me. So I'm gonna go through those because I still think they're good staples today. I mean, whether you're somebody who's just starting out on your weight training journey, you're starting to build muscle, you're trying to change your body, whether you're somebody who's been doing this for a long time, these are still some staple products that I know will help you. So let's start with the first one. The most important supplement, without a doubt, in my opinion, is a good protein product. There's a lot of different types of protein out there too. You've got whey protein, and you've got different variations of whey. You've got concentrates, you've got micellar whey, you've got whey concentrate and isolate. For me personally, the best protein that I've ever used and the one that I always recommend is just a pure isolate. Isolate, basically, for those of you who don't know, is an isolated form of protein. It's very highly absorbable and digestible. And that's the reason that I prefer it over all other proteins, because sometimes you'll get a little bit of indigestion when you take an inferior protein, or you won't be able to digest it well. With an isolate, something similar to our ISO factor, this is a pre-digested formula. So as you drink it, you're gonna notice that you're not bloated, you digest it well, it's very nice on the stomach, you don't have the typical feeling and just gaseous feeling that you get with some other proteins, and your body uses it very efficiently. So if you're looking for something in terms of a protein product, Whey Isolate is gonna be not only a great source of protein, but also probably my favorite. Now, if you don't use dairy, you probably want to look for a good vegan protein. And I know we've got a couple in our line that have some pea protein that work really well and taste absolutely great. But without a doubt, number one, most important product is a Whey Isolate. So try to use that, especially first thing in the morning and after your training sessions. Those are usually the 2 times of the day where your body can really use protein to help build, grow, and repair from that actual training session. So that's key. Now, number 2, the second product that I've used probably for 20 years, with breaks here and there, is none other than creatine monohydrate. Now, there's been a lot of different types of creatine that have come out over the last, 15 years. There's been variations, creatine phosphate, creatinine, just tons of different ones that I can't even begin to mention. But in my opinion, the one that's tried and true that has always worked really well is pure creatine monohydrate. That's our Creaload formula. And basically, this is just pharmaceutical grade creatine in a micronized form. And creatine has been around probably for the last 19 to 20 years. It's got a lot of research behind it. It does a lot for the body in terms of giving it energy to produce, to help you engage in training more effectively, to help you do more cardio, more endurance activities due to ATP production, but also has this nice little side effect of increasing the cell size or the volume of the muscle. And that's something that's kind of overlooked. Creatine actually increases the amount of cellular fluid that you have inside of a muscle, the muscle tissue, because muscle is 80% water. As that happens, the muscle looks bigger and fuller. It's not like a water retentive look, but more of a thick, full feeling. And it works very well to do this. And usually that occurs over the first 6 to 10 days. And usually you need to take a good amount of creatine for those first 10 days in order for the body to start building up that fluid into the muscle tissue. I would recommend 5 to 10 grams daily. In fact, if you can do 10 to 15 grams for the first 3 to 4 days and then back that down to 5 grams thereon after, you should be good to go. But creatine is probably still my number 2 staple supplement that I use daily and that I think everybody should use, especially if you're engaged in the process of trying to put on muscle, perform better, have better training sessions, have longer training sessions. It cannot hurt you, it can only benefit you. So that's number 2. Number 3, and it's something that I got into a little bit more recently, I'd say recently for me in the last 10 years, is post-workout supplementation and something more along the lines of recovery. Back in the old days, I would just use a pure L-glutamine formula, just pure glutamine post-workout to help improve the muscle recovery process, increase tissue growth and repair, and help with pretty much overall all the areas in the body that need healing and recuperation. As I got a little bit older, I realized that there was other elements that you could combine to glutamine to make it more effective, and that's why we came out with our Gluteagen formula. We've had a form of Gluteagen for probably the last, I'd say, 5 years, but this newest formula, the Gluteagen V2, it's a version 2 formula, has a lot of other added ingredients that not only help the muscle recuperate better, but also help increase immunity, keep your body stronger, keep your immune system stronger, which of course is really important right now. And recovery is probably one of the most underestimated and underlooked at components of building lean tissue and of getting bigger, if that's your goal. That's what it all boils down to, how fast you can recover so that you can train that muscle again and you can elicit a growth response again and grow. So number 1, protein. Number 2, creatine. Number 3, a good recovery formula like our Gluteagen V2. And last but not least, and this is probably something that I'm not consistent with, but that I've noticed I've been more consistent with lately, especially over the last 1.5 to 2 years due to the pandemic and stuff like that, is just a good multivitamin and mineral. You can't get around micronutrients. Micronutrients are basically nutrients that help you absorb food better. They help your body's immune system work more effectively. They help improve digestion. They help improve all areas of the body. And a lot of times, especially if you're training hard and you're working out hard and you're perspiring, you're losing a lot of those vital micronutrients in your training sessions. And especially if your diet isn't varied and you don't get a lot of vegetables, which most of the people that I know that train heavy and working out, their goal of their diet primarily is to build muscle and lose fat, which means they have a lot of carbs and a lot of protein, but very few vegetables where micronutrients are pretty much readily available. So if you're not eating a lot of greens and you're not eating a lot of vitamins and minerals in your actual daily diet, that it's important that you supplement them. So that's one of the key reasons you want to use a multivitamin mineral formula and just use it daily. It's something that I pretty much do every morning along with some C and D, some calcium and magnesium, and it just becomes a daily routine for overall health and wellness. But if I had to go back and say, hey man, in the last 20 years, what are the products or the supplements that I've actually seen results from time and time again that are foundational and a bedrock for you, whether you're starting out on a program or even if you've been working out for 15 to 20 years, those are them. Whey Isolate, or a good quality protein, creatine monohydrate, a good recovery product, and a multivitamin mineral formula. That's really it. Those are my key components to any program. When somebody says, hey Aaron, can you build me a training program, a nutrition program, a body transformation program, those are the products I put in. And then as time progresses and as their journey progresses as far as training and improving their body, well then there's some different things we can do, you know, especially at the 1 year mark and at the 2 year mark. And if you're more advanced, you can get into hormone supplementation and different ways to help manipulate the body to lose fat at a more accelerated rate. But that all takes time and it's part of the process. For the very beginning, this is what you want to do. Guys, I hope that helps you out, especially if you're a beginner or somebody who's just getting started on your journey. Look at taking those 4 products, adding them into your program. You can always visit us at www.thepureline.com. If you have questions, you can call any of our reps at 1-800-632-1402. We're available pretty much every day to answer any questions, help you get started, whether it's training, nutrition, anything you can possibly imagine to help you reach your goals. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Have a good one.